it or not, man, we are already on week 12 as the Detroit Lions head down to face the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium, a game I am hoping to attend. We'll see on Sunday morning if I can get me a ticket at a discounted price if the original ticket falls through. Well, not the original ticket. The original ticket was one I was going to buy. Then I was offered a ticket. So now that's so anyway, hopefully I'll be down there trying to go to stadiums I have not been to before. But the Detroit Lions have an opportunity to be 10-1 and be one step closer to clinching a first seed throughout the playoffs. Now, you saw a video I did last night. Actually, today, this video is being recorded Friday night. You'll see it Saturday morning. That's right. I'm always working. We saw how that the Detroit Lions could clinch with 4 wins straight and a couple of losses from their rivals and people that's kind of creeping up on them. They could clinch the #1 seed as early as week 15. They get a week 15 win, and they can clinch with 3 games remaining. So after week 14, you've got 15. You have 16, 17, 18 left. So they can clinch. And beating the Indianapolis Colts will help us do that. Now, a lot of people are worried about this game. By the time we're going to talk about some people talking about this specific game later on in the day. I don't really want to spoil what the video is going to be about, but since you're seeing this in the morning, we'll talk about, I already know what the videos are going to be about, but you'll see them later. But is it possible that the Detroit Lions are in for a letdown? Well, let's see the stats and we'll talk about it at the end of this video. We're going to go to the ESPN matchup predictor. This is another big, not as big as last week with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but big nonetheless. The Detroit Lions have a 73.6% chance winning this game, and the Indianapolis Colts have a 26.2%. Jared Goff had a stellar game. I'm really mad about those 5 interceptions, man. He would have 20 touchdowns to 4 interceptions had he had a better game against the Texans. 197 for 270 for 2492, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Anthony Richardson has missed at least 2 games. I believe he was benched. He might have missed some due to injury as well. I don't recall off the top of the head. 79 for 163 for 1,230 yards with 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. You can already see the dude completes 1 out of every 2 passes. He is miserable, and that's missing 2 games, but he's miserable. That Anthony Richardson is a bad quarterback. There's no getting around it. Jahmyr Gibbs, 133 carries for, wow, I can't believe that. He's only 204 yards away from being a 1,000-yard rusher. He just missed out on it last year with 796 and 8 touchdowns. That is outstanding. Jonathan Taylor, I like to call him JTT, 150 carries for 673 yards with 5 touchdowns. Receiving yards, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 65 receptions, 685 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He has 8 consecutive games that he has scored a touchdown, and that takes us back, I believe, to week 2, I believe it is, when he started that streak. And Alec Pierce, who's on my fantasy team, 26 receptions, 590 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So you can see right away, just without even comparing stats, that our offense scores. We score points. We are the #1 scoring offense in the league, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Tickets as low as $185. I ain't seeing for $185. I'm going to have to check them out. Buy Colts tickets with Vivid Seats. All right. Might have to check them out. We already went over this. Emmanuel Mosley is injured reserve, designated to return. I am hoping that he gets elevated tomorrow or later today. I'm sorry, when we do the roster moves, if there are any at 4 o'clock. We know that Terrion Arnold is questionable. Rake Straw is out. Afitu Melifonwu, he's been placed back on IR, and then Alex Anzalone is on IR. Then we've got guys for them, for the Indianapolis Colts. The last 5, we know that the Detroit Lions have won 8 in a row, looking to make it 9 in a row this week against the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, coming off of a squeaker win against the Jets. They are 2-3 with losses to Buffalo, Minnesota, and Houston, and a win in Miami, a tourless Miami back in week whatever week that was at the end of October. So the Detroit Lions, just looking at those, comparing the leaders of the team that we saw, the Detroit Lions are the better team. I'm not going to call the Colts inferior like I called the Jaguars, because I don't think that the Colts are, I'm not going to put them on in the inferior category. We are the better team, but I don't think the gap isn't as high as it was with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now let's look at Tim Twentyman and his ranking comparisons that he puts out every week, and let's compare the offense and defense of these teams. You're going to see something right away. We went over these stats the other day. The Detroit Lions rank their top 10 in all 7 statistics on this chart. First in total offense. First in points per game. Total offense third. Rushing offense third. Passing offense sixth. Third down offense sixth. And red zone efficiency fourth. All right. Giveaways, we are 7th. So that is 7 categories, and we are top 10 in all of them. Now let's compare that to the Colts. 19th in points per game. So they're in the bottom half of the league. Total offense, 21st. Rushing offense, 16th. Passing offense, 21st. Third down offense, 21st. Red zone efficiency, 17th. Giveaways, 29th, which means that they are tied for 29th. All right. Now that's their offense. So what do you see here? The Lions are the better team. And you know what? I might have to retract that and say that, yes, the Indianapolis Colts are inferior to the Detroit Lions. We are the superior team. If you just look at, we have a top 10 offense in all 7 categories. They don't even have a top 15 in any. So that over what, 100%? 100% difference. That's the superior team. Now let's go down to the defense. The Detroit Lions, 5th points per game. Total defense, 13th. Rushing defense, 5th. Passing defense, 27th. Third down defense, 1st. And red zone efficiency tied for 3rd. Let's go and look what they are. 19th in points per game. Total defense. There are only 4 teams worse than them in total defense. Rushing defense, 28th. Same thing. Passing defense, 26th. Third down defense, 27th. And red zone efficiency, 16th. Takeaways, 7th. So the Detroit, out of all of these, all 14 categories, the only one that's a top 10 for the Colts is takeaways. They're pretty decent at taking the ball away. You can see it's only 2 different from ours, but it's 3 spots. The Detroit Lions are superior in 13 of the 14 categories. I take that back. The Detroit Lions are the superior team. Now, what is our biggest concern? Our offense does what it do. It does what it do. Jared Goff, if you go back to the 5 interceptions, a lot of them were not on him. Coach said it, don't at me. Coach said, I might put one on him, maybe. And he kind of didn't want to give him that. He was, I mean, if you pulling his leg, he'd give him 1 interception. Jared Goff could easily be 20. I can't believe that, man. 20. He would be what? What did that say? 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions is where he should be. Really pains me, man, because those are the difference between when people want to give him MVP. He would be 20-4. He's a very accurate passer. We talked about, Nick Wright said that he doesn't have a superpower. His superpower is accuracy. Jared Goff is extremely accurate. He might, and I say he might not because you guys like to compare him to Lamar Jackson Wilson. All right. He doesn't run around. It's not what he does. He doesn't have to. He will tear you up. He will shred you in the pocket. He hasn't been sacked in 2 games. I think he's been sacked once or something out of the last 3 games. Some stat I thought I heard. All right. So Jared Goff's superpower is accuracy. All right. The Detroit Lions, the offense should roll. Okay. The defense, in my opinion, has one thing to worry about. His name is Anthony Richardson. And if Anthony Richardson is as reckless as he's been the first year and a half of his career, he might not be playing the entire game. He's a horrible passer. I thought Lamar used to be bad. Anthony Richardson is worse. He is worse. He's terrible. He cannot make, the first game of the season, I think it was the first game of the season, I saw this guy make one of the greatest passes I have ever seen off of his back foot. And I'm like, oh my God, that's why he was drafted where he was. The dude is a freak. But then you have the intermediate and the short stuff. He just, what are you doing? It's like 5 yards and he throwing it straight to the defender. So he's the only concern. Jonathan Taylor, we are good against the run. We have stuffed every running back. I mean, outside of, I think Josh Jacobs got 93 yards. He went off on us. But even if he does, we can take it. We can take it. Only thing we got to worry about is Anthony Richardson running with his legs. And we've been doing a decent job on mobile quarterbacks this year. Kyler Murray is one that comes to mind. What's another dude? Jordan Love, even though he was half hurt. We've been doing a pretty decent job containing these mobile guys. We do that, we win this game. Will it be a blowout? I'm not going to say it's a blowout, that it's going to be a blowout. But it is going to be, let's just real quick, man. I want to look at what the Lions have done because they haven't struggled as far as putting up points in over the last couple of games. I mean, right now we're talking about a historic offense I can't even believe I'm saying like historic and something good with the Lions. Like it's crazy to be this good right now. Let's look since the Seattle game. I think they're averaging over 30 points a game this season. Since the Seattle game, 42, 47, 31, 52, 24, 26, 52. I think the Detroit Lions, if they play a clean game, which is turnover free, maybe get some turnovers. I think last couple of games they've gotten turnovers. That we could at least put up 28 points, at least. So I'm going to say that the Detroit Lions are going to win this game. They're going to go to 9 consecutive wins. They're going to move to 10-1 on the season, and we're going to get ready for Thanksgiving. Now, here's what concerns me just a little bit. The Detroit Lions they're not the only team that has to go through this, but this is when the stretch starts for us, right? So we had 4 games in 18 days, including the Jacksonville Jaguar game. So we had a game on the 24th. We got a game on the 17th that we already played. Then we turn around. We have a 3-day turnaround. We play the Bears at home, so the crowd will be able to rejuvenate. Instead of the 10 days off we usually get, we get 7. Then we play the Packers on Prime the next Thursday. So we have 4 games in 18 days when that would be at least 28. That's the only thing that kind of concerns me about this team is dropping one of those games because we have the Bears, we got the Colts, and the Green Bay Packers. And if we drop one, I feel like it might be that Thursday night game, but that game is at Ford Field. So Ford Field will be enough to like energize these players. So I think that the Lions have a real good chance to maybe not even think about losing until the Buffalo game when that one's going to be tough. But the good news is after the Green Bay game and, 4 games in 18 days, we get a 10-day break. Then we don't play the Buffalo Bills until December 15th. So if the Lions can come out of this 4-0, that'd be starting with Jacksonville. That'd be insane. That would be insane. I mean, we're looking at 10-1. Really, I think we're going to go 11-1. And I think Green Bay is the only real threat. So I'm not looking past the Colts. I'm just saying we are the superior team. It feels weird saying that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. We hit 25.9 subscribers and 100 more subscribers. We will be moving on to the Aiden Hutchinson bobblehead giveaway. We still got to do the first one, the 25 first, but then I got to turn around and do another one as well. So consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions to 10-1.